Hey guys, I want to talk about value systems. So, value systems are a big part of what is going on in society right now, and we need to really analyze what we value. Problem is, when we're valuing wealth, beauty, money, power, sex, drugs, all those things, and I'm not saying those things don't have value, I'm saying when they're all that we value, we lose sight of what's truly important, which is our happiness. So, happiness and survival need to be our two basic values. When we value surviving, making sure that our needs are met, making sure that we have shelter, we have food, we have water, we have all the things that we need, then we can start to branch out from that baseline. So there's different people working in the world just at survival mode. And then when people have managed their survival and they start to have more resources, unfortunately, they start to kind of opt into this realm where all the superficial things start to become valuable, and they start to build up an ego around what they have, and they feel like that makes them valuable. But your stuff doesn't go anywhere with you. Your body will get older, decay, and die. So how hot you are or how whatever you are really isn't going to serve you in the long run. So when you really analyze your value system, you have to ask yourself, why is it valuable? Is it valuable because other people want it and you have it, therefore they want to be you, and that's going to make you happy? It might for a minute, but oftentimes it's a very empty feeling. You achieve it and then you wonder, why am I not happy right now? I have the thing, but yet it didn't make me happy. Then that leads to depression, anxiety. This is the problem with society's value system. Society has taught us that the right path to life is to go to school, to study hard, to find a girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, family, have a wife, have kids, have this, have that, build a house, have money, have nice stuff, and you'll be happy. That, my friends, isn't true. So, unfortunately, that's actually not the secret to being happy. And a lot of people who are so focused on that ended up being so focused on presenting the perfect family, the perfect whatever, that a lot of harmful behavior starts going unnoticed. And this all goes on behind closed doors. These are the kinds of things that lead to harming one another in society. And this is what breaks down community, where we're separating ourselves. We're not being truly authentic, where we're not being honest, we're not being accountable, where we're not being all those things. The thing with accountability is everybody's coming at somebody being like, you fucked up, you made a mistake, you did this, you did that. That's not actually the truth of it though. Because if you understand what drove somebody to behave the way they behaved, you can understand why they did what they did, and you can let go of the harm that it did to you, oftentimes, which will prevent them from getting to a place where that harm gets greater and greater and greater, which leads to violence, which leads to aggression, which leads to anger. A lot of this comes down to not connecting with each other or communicating in a way that's actually functional. Our communication systems are very, very broken. We are communicating using words with hidden meanings. We're looking for innuendo. We're looking for all these layers. That is not healthy communication. Healthy communication is direct communication, and it lacks emotion. Communication is direct. It's not authoritative. It's not judgmental. It's not shameful. It is what it is. This is why when I work with kids, they're fine with me correcting them, because I'm not correcting them in a shameful way. I'm correcting them in a, hey, how did that work out for you? When you did this, what was the result? Do you want to do it again? It's just about analyzing it and analyzing what we're doing, seeing if it's helping us, and then changing. We're all going to make mistakes. I've made so many, so many, trust me, and I can tell you all about them if you want. I'm all about accountability. I don't have any shame in the mistakes I made, because I understand the emotions that drove me there, and I understand the harm that was done to me from those around me that drove me to lash out and do those things, but that does not justify my actions. I was not taught healthy value systems. I had to learn it through observation, through being an empath, being somebody who has a disability, somebody who's in pain a lot and lives in a world where I'm constantly hurting, to start to see past myself and start to understand, why are others hurting others? So all of this comes down to communication and really learning how to say what we mean, and not worrying about how somebody sees you, but worrying about how they hear you. Because how they see you really doesn't feed you, help you, clothe you, do anything for you. I promise you. This whole idea of how many likes I get, how many views I get, that does not make you successful. It really doesn't. What makes you successful is when you're happy and your relationships are healthy and you're working together and creating something where everyone's needs are met. That's the goal here. That's it. It doesn't have to be bigger, better, awesome, all of these things. It could be, and those things can come, and there's nothing wrong with those things per se, but when those are the only goal, when that's the only focus, you lose sight of all the little things on this journey, and that's what leads to all these issues of anxiety and depression and feeling invalued and shamed. And then when you're in shame, you start lashing out and shaming other people because they're calling you out for being a jerk, so now you're calling them out for being a jerk, and it just is retaliatory and it goes nowhere. Understanding is the key. Communication is the key, and stopping what we're doing, taking a minute to just hear someone else's experience, because people need to be heard. They need to be seen. That's what makes them feel valued. And when they feel valued, and when they feel seen, and when they feel heard, you will see them rise up to be the best version of themselves. When people start to honor you and believe in you and start to say, this is what happened, that's where you went wrong, no shame, no judgment, it didn't work, let's reevaluate it, let's do it differently, and then you start to approach people that way, you'd be very, very surprised at how your relationships start to have harmony, how all of the anxiety, the tension, the jealousy, the fear, the rage, all of those things de-escalate when we have healthy communication. So unfortunately, society's values are broken. Society has taught us something that isn't working, and we keep buying into it, and we keep wondering why we're not fulfilled. This is why we're not fulfilled. I think we need to evaluate our values. I think we need to decide what's the most important. Do you want to be right? Do you want to be rich? Do you want to be hot? Do you want to be wanted by everybody? Do you want to be strong? Do you want to be beautiful? What do you want? Really ask yourself, man, because that's honestly going to decide the person that you are in this world. Ask yourself what you want. From the time I was little, all I wanted was to be happy. I struggled a lot with mental health challenges and things like that, and I was on this quest for happiness. So I had to really evaluate and reevaluate and reevaluate and reevaluate my mistakes, my connections, what I was doing wrong, and start changing my communication with people. When we assess our values and when we align our values, things start to work really, really well. You can find people who share the same values with you, and you can work together to achieve that goal, whatever that goal may be. I don't care if it's having a big house or a car or whatever. If you value that, that's fine. No judgment, man. You do you. I'm just saying I value happiness. So this is the approach. But I'm saying do not get caught up in that thing defining your worth, because that doesn't define your worth. What defines your worth is the kind of human that you are, the person that you are on this planet, how you interact with the animals, with the planet, with those around you. That's what defines your worth. Not how much money you had, not how big your house was, not how big your car was, and not when you ran around telling everybody how effed up they were and you corrected them. None of those things make you valuable. What makes you valuable is when you honor people, when you hear people, when you love people, when you take the time to actually have connection. That's your legacy. That's what lives on, not all of this stuff. All right, hope that helps. Bye.